this out loud. If you get stuck, I will tell you the words so you can keep reading. When I say stop, I may ask you to tell me about what you read. So do your best reading. Start here. Begin.
I wanted to take my stepmother out to dinner for her birthday and pay for our dinner with my own money. I wanted it to be a surprise and I wanted it to be just from me. The problem was I didn't have any money. I went out to try to find ways to earn money. The lady who lives in the apartment upstairs said she wanted to get rid of all her empty soda cans and bottles. She said I could keep the money for the deposit if I took all of the cans and bottles back to the store. It took me 5 trips, but I got them all taken back to the store. The man in the apartment downstairs said I could walk his dog after supper every night for 2 weeks. Our neighbor lady said she could use some help putting out the trash and getting rid of old newspapers. One lady in our building said she would like some help with her groceries, but she couldn't afford to pay me. I helped her anyway. She said she would give me some flowers to give to my stepmother. The day before her birthday, I asked Mom if she would go on a date with me for dinner. She was surprised when I paid for the dinner with the money I had earned. She made me tell her where I had gotten the money. Then she gave me a big hug and said it was the best birthday present ever. I think...
Please stop. Please read this out loud. If you get stuck, I will tell you the words so you can keep reading. When I say stop, I may ask you to tell me about what you read, so do your best reading. Start here. Begin.
Our whole family watched the Olympics last summer. We didn't have to travel anywhere to see the games. We watched them on TV in our family room. The Olympics are held every 4 years. There is both a Summer Olympics and a Winter Olympics. My favorite sports in the summer are swimming and track and field. In the winter, my favorites are sledding and ice skating. The skaters are so skilled that they make skating look easy, even though it isn't. I like to watch their jumps and spins. The athletes who come in first, second, and third place receive medals. First place is gold, and second place is silver. The third place medal is bronze. When they get their medals, the athletes stand beneath their country's flag. His or her country's song is played for everyone to hear. The Olympic Games have been around for 200 years. They begin with only one race. The Games soon grew to last 5 days, and more sports were added. The Olympics had strange rules at first. One rule was that only men could be in the Games or even watch. Today, both women and men take part in over 20 different sports. The athletes come from all around the world.
Stop. Please read this out loud. If you get stuck, I will tell you the words so you can keep reading. When I say stop, I may ask you to tell me about what you read, so do your best reading. Start here. Begin.
My stepfather and I surprised Mom on Mother's Day. We got up very early in the morning and fixed her breakfast. We planned the surprise the day before. We went to the grocery store and bought food and real flowers to make the breakfast special. We decided to bake waffles and serve them with fresh strawberries and whipped cream. We know Mom likes strawberry waffles because she had them once when we went out for breakfast. We told Mom to sleep in as long as she wanted. We said, when you wake up, just knock on the kitchen door, but don't come into the kitchen. I washed the strawberries and removed the tops. Then I put silverware and a plate on a tray, and Dad put the flowers in a little vase. Dad made this special coffee Mom loves. Then I helped Dad make the waffles. We used a waffle mix so it would be easier. We had to heat up the waffle iron first. The first waffle didn't turn out too well, so Dad said I could eat it. It tasted excellent, even if it looked funny. The next waffle was perfect. Just when we had the waffles all figured out, Mom knocked on the kitchen door. We put a waffle on the plate and spooned the berries on it. Then I stopped.
Please read this out loud. If you get stuck, I will tell you the words so you can keep reading. When I say stop, I may ask you to tell me about what you read, so do your best. Start here. Begin.
My dad goes to school just like me. My sister is in 2nd grade and I am in 4th grade. My dad isn't in a grade. He goes to school at the community college where he is studying computer science. Every morning he walks with my sister and me to the bus stop. We all ride the same bus to my school and then he says goodbye to us. We all ride the bus home in the afternoon but at different times. My sister and I get home first. As soon as my dad arrives, the 3 of us sit down at the kitchen table and do our homework together. I think Dad has the most homework. After he gets his homework done, my dad goes to his job and works until midnight. When he gets home, it's very late and the rest of the family is sound asleep. Dad says he's studying hard because he wants a better job. He says he's looking forward to being home in the evenings and relaxing with all of us. In another year, he will finish his degree and he can find a better job. I admire my dad. Sometimes when I'm not in the mood to do my homework, he pats me on the shoulder and says, "You're doing very well. You keep it up and you won't have to go to school when you're an old guy like me."
Please read this out loud. If you get stuck, I will tell you the words so you can keep reading. When I say stop, I may ask you to tell me what you read, so do your best reading. Start here.
My dad has his 40th birthday last month, so my mom planned a big surprise party for him. She said I could assist with the party, but that I had to keep the party a secret. She said I couldn't tell my dad because that would spoil the surprise. I helped Mom organize the guest list and write the invitations. I was responsible for making sure everyone was included. I also addressed all the envelopes and put stamps and return addresses on them. We wrote the invitations before Dad came home from work. We had to sneak them to the post office so Dad wouldn't see them. We planned to have the surprise party at Dad's friend's house. All the guests were supposed to come early so Dad wouldn't be suspicious. Dad thought he was just having dinner with his friend. Every time I looked at Dad before the party, I thought about the secret. It was very hard not to say something. I thought I had to tell someone where I would burst. I decided to whisper my secret to my pet cat because I knew she would be discreet. Finally, the day of the party came. Everybody waited at our friend's house with the lights turned off and everyone hidden. Then Dad rang the doorbell and Dad's friend opened the door. We all yelled, "Surprise!"
Please stop. Please read this out loud. If you get stuck, I will tell you the words so you can keep reading. When I say stop, I may ask you to tell me about what you read, so do your best reading. Start here. Begin.
When I was born, I was nicknamed after my grandfather. Most people call me by my nickname instead of my real name, though. I got my nickname when I was about 6 months old and starting to eat solid foods. My mother would dip the spoon into my baby food and start to bring a bite to my mouth. Before the spoon even touched my lips, I would open my mouth very wide and make a little noise. My mother said to my father, "Look at him eat, isn't he cute?" My father said, "He looks just like a baby robin in his nest waiting for a juicy worm." After that, my father started calling me Bird as a nickname. He mostly kept it to himself, but then my grandfather began calling me Bird. Finally, even my mother called me Bird. Now I'm in the 3rd grade and most of my classmates call me Bird. Only my teacher uses my real name. I am so used to my nickname that when my teacher calls on me, I sometimes don't realize she's talking to me. Whenever my parents really want my attention, they call me by my real name. When they call me by my full name and even stop.
Please read this out loud. If you get stuck, I will tell you the words so you can keep reading. When I say stop, I may ask you to tell me about what you read, so do your best reading. Start here and begin.
I earn extra money by doing chores for people. I babysit for my cousin, walk my neighbor's dog, and I rake leaves for another neighbor. Last week, I made $15 doing chores. When I got a birthday card from my great-grandma, it had $10 inside. The next day, Mom paid me $5 for cleaning the garage. That makes $30. Dad said we should open a savings account so nothing happens to my $30. He says that it is a lot of money for a kid. He said it would also make it easier for me to save my money and not spend it if it is in the bank. I would like to save enough money to buy a skateboard. It will be hard not to spend it on movies and magazines, though. We went to the credit union and opened a savings account in my name. Dad filled out some forms, and I gave my money to the man at the credit union. He gave me a little book with my name in it to keep track of my money. He also gave me a cool pen and a calendar with all the high school football games on it. My dad said if I leave the money in...
Please stop. Please read this out loud. If you get stuck, I will tell you the words so you can keep reading. When I say stop, I may ask you to tell me about what you read, so do your best reading. Start here and begin.
Elephants are some of the largest and smartest animals on Earth. There are 2 types of elephants, Asian and African. Asian elephants are found in the forests of India and Southeast Asia. They are often caught and trained to help people do heavy work. People use them to clear forests and tow heavy logs. The elephants' handlers often become good friends with the elephants. Most African elephants live in preserves where they are protected from hunters. Preserves also help keep them from damaging crops and fields. African elephants have very large ears that they flap to scare off other animals or to keep cool. They have long ivory tusks. Both kinds of elephants have very long trunks. They use their trunks to reach down to the ground and hide into trees to find food. Plants and leaves and small branches from trees are their favorite foods.
Please read this out loud. If you get stuck, I will tell you the words so you can keep reading. When I say stop, I may ask you to tell me about what you read. So do your best reading. Start here and
belong to a big family. My 3 brothers, 2 sisters, and grandma all live in our house. That makes 9 people in our family. You can bet it gets pretty busy sometimes. We have rules because we have such a big family, and my parents want to make sure no one gets left out. Our rules are not the same kind of rules we have at school, like sitting in your seat before the bell rings. We have rules about homework, TV, housework, and keeping our rooms clean. My parents say we need to be organized and everybody has to do their part. This is how our rules work. If all of us finish our homework by supper time, we can watch TV together. Children who have not finished their homework have to stay in their rooms without the radio on. If all of us do our share, helping with the laundry and housework, we get to watch a video together. If we all eat our dinner, we can have dessert. Grandma usually bakes a pie or cookies. My dad says being in a big family is like having a job. We all have to be responsible.